Okay, so I've never played TERA before. I don't know very much about it other than it's a very controversial MMO. The goal is to be like an action-oriented MMO, right? Less focus on global cooldown, WoW-style gameplay, which is basically degenerates to a turn-based RPG. Like every other MMO is a turn-based RPG. It's just that the duration of a turn is about 1.5 to 2.5 seconds, however long the GCD is. So I'm curious to see what the game's like. I'm not going to spend a ton of time in character creation, since I think Kami's purpose in including this in Subblock was to just show the game off and not actually play it at length. So we'll probably get through the tutorial area, maybe, and then we'll shift to the next Subblock game for today. It's like Monster Hunter. And I'll stop manually activating it, but you can type !Darkstar TERA if Darkstar says something negative about this game. Anytime MMOs come up at all, I feel like his ear burns someone mentions this game. Alright, so it tells me recommended server is a PvP server. I feel like I'm not going to play it for very long anyway, so I may as well give it a try. None of them have queues, though. Whatever, if I die, I die. I assume it has both PvP and PvE. New character. The art's pretty cool so far. Human. Castanic, so like devil person. I love how that's the second option. Amon, other more different devil person. Have you heard of the High Elves? Okay, well, that ends the discussion right there. Got your gross lolly race. Baraka. Stone person. We're clearly going to be a dog person. I mean, what other choices? There's soothing presence. Monsters don't make preemptive attacks. Increase movement speed. I like how the game takes itself incredibly seriously until you click on this one. Slayer, Lance. The base dog form changes depending on your chosen class. That's pretty fantastic. They're like more like raccoon than dog people, I guess. I think I'm gonna pick one based on how cool they look. Only humans can be brawlers. Oh. What's the custom class of this one then? Priest is pretty great looking. I like the little panda man. Can learn Apex skills. They don't have a custom class. Let's try the priest. Why not? Oh wow, they give you a lot of options here. So we're not going to spend a ton of time in here. So I can be like a dog or a bear or a hamster. That's a lot of dimorphism. Some of these are pretty funny. Alright, so we're gonna play as a good boy. Eyes, damn. Alright, it's a pretty nice character creator, it looks like. Should probably change his tail if I'm gonna give him a dog face, right? That's good. The goodest boy. He has to have the most intense voice, right? What? I can't put spaces in there. Boo. Hey, thanks for resubbing, Gummy.
You're super awesome. Thanks. Appreciate that.
The divine war sundered gods and titans, destroying the world that was. Amid the tragedy, a single drop of hope coalesced to preserve one tiny part. Sheltered from time, a mystical tree grew, giving fresh eyes the power to see the world as the gods once
I really like
saw
the
it.
art style so far.
The world's greatest scholars and magicians came to study the divine tree and protect it.
How does this game make money? Is it just cosmetics, or is there some like Old Republic style gross shenanigans?
Not before the forces of evil sent their own champion.
It didn't look like there was any crap with you can only. This is a pay only race or a pay only class, which was nice. It's cool that they do hero classes. What's worse than Old Republic? Oh, here we go. Welcome to Daily Deals. Probably shouldn't pop these up until I know what the hell they mean. Login buffs. Alright. WSAD. Nice. I'm the goodest boy. Well, shit. Sorry to... The combat feels pretty good. So, like, the shtick is that abilities, there's no tap targeting, right? You just click at something, and if your spell has collision with it, you kill it. That's neat. Alright, so given that that's how targeting works, though, how do I... Oh, never mind. I guess I hit Alt. In or out of combat. Raid tips? That's weird. That would be the first thing they'd tip me off to. Something for you, an item claim. I don't have a quest tracker yet. Maybe that's this guy. What's up, dude?
Greetings.
Greetings. Alright, so WoW style quests. Approach the root of the tree and collect F to sample its bark. Is there like a radar or map that will help me find where this quest I just accepted is meant to go? Do I have to set it to track? The run animation. Doop, 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 doop. My radar in the corner is empty. Is there a separate thing to pull up a minimap?
For the Federation.
What can I do next?
Child?
Sue the crying child. Alright, I see the little question mark now on the radar. Speak to Anya.
Where's an Ellen when you need one?
This sure is an MMO. I see where they're going with this, making sure you understand how to play everything. Has anyone made an MMO that has no tutorial at all? I got the doll. Press N to get the meme back. Oh, thank you. I must have accidentally dismissed it earlier. Appreciate that. Good looking out, Brim.
Don't be so grumpy.
I feel like this game would have benefited from a more Guild Wars 2 style opening. If you've ever played Guild Wars 2, the opening's super intense for every class and race you can start as. And if, like, the sell for this MMO is that it has really good combat, you think they'd want to focus on that, right? Open, press I to open the inventory, okay. Needle and thread. Oh, cool. I guess it just automatically knew what to do it with. Does it? Who's Guild Wars 2 then? They must have been contemporaries, right?
Let's do it together.
Okay. Play with Anya and Zozo. Is this the same tutorial zone for every player, or is it different based on starting race class? Yeah, 4 digits of HP and MP at level 1. It's very Final Fantasy. Oh, I've got TERA's 2012. Only Reaper's different, the rest of the same. Reaper's like the Death Knight hero class, right?
Do you want to play?
You know, I wonder if a lot of the general complaints about this game are just because they're just timing related. Like, had the dev team waited until Guild Wars 2 made a lot of sweeping changes to the MMO landscape, and they had built the game with those changes in mind. It's, you know, I'm 12 minutes in, so I can't make any value judgments, obviously.
Looking for me?
Big boy. Left click to attack.
Do you want to play? See you.
Defeat agitated Gillidoos. Okay. I do like that combat. That's kind of cool. Not having tap targeting. Does everything work this way? Like healing as well? You have to point at and aim? This game doesn't support controllers at all, does it? They've revamped the tutorial 3 or 4 times? Wow. Oh, cool. Orbs. That's neat. Some spells you can lock on, some you have to target. Well, I really like the core gameplay. Like, it feels neat. So what's the problem? Like, the end game doesn't really develop well on this? Is it a free-to-play problem?
Hey, what? Is this worth my time?
You are now level 2. I've got too many pop-ups. Hold on, let me finish taking this quest. Ooh, there's a dodge button. Is that... Oh, wait, no. That's one of my abilities. It's just mapped to C initially. So how do I get back into my, Whoa, Jesus. Chill out, dude. Hold on, I'm gonna go hide somewhere. These things don't murder me. Level up. Okay. Metamorphic Blast. Divine Radiance. Most of these I already have. Does every class have backstep, or is that unique to Priest? Press K to upgrade new skills. Now, I'm not spending skill points to unlock these, right? I'm just paying money to get access to them. Go into Divine Energy. Oh, that's cool. Some classes have backstep, others have something else. Okay. But everybody has some kind of basic evasive ability. Yo, Varkas. I assume I'm in like an instanced area right now. Are there abilities that it's impossible to avoid damage from? I feel like I've never played an MMO where, like, if you were running from an enemy that you could actually avoid damage. Oh, there's actual iframes on them? That's pretty cool. No, I actually super dig this game so far from a mechanics perspective. It makes it much bigger of a bummer that it apparently isn't working. Alright, I see the little 1 now. And that connects to my quest tracker. So that's nice. A lot of games, the quest tracker just gives you a bunch of icons and you have to hover over it to see what it is. There's a foul smell in the air. Where's the stinking butt at? Get it, good boy. Do all the races have the same set of voices to pick from? That's funny. Look how happy he is. Good job, boy. Hey, and I'm still progressing forward, that's nice. I know, right, Ash? Especially if this is, like, the 3rd iteration of the tutorial.
What is it, kid? Something important?
Okay. Furled Staff was an upgrade. The game doesn't seem super great about helping me to figure out if something is better or not, does it? That's kind of a bummer. Is there like a separate equipment tab? Ah. Is there like a character sheet tab somewhere where I can see what I have equipped and all that fun stuff? Yeah. I see that. But it like doesn't have like a little +1. This one is better. Here are the stat differences. P for profile. Oh, thank you. That's exactly what I needed. Perfect. Okay, good looking out. That's a lot of slots. Holy shit. Nice. Alright, where is Glennock at? Up here.
Something I can help with.
Yeah, I hear you, this name. I wonder what the priorities of the dev team were. Like, if they were out to make a mechanical MMO, and they're like, oh, we'll just have quests because there should be quests. Like, Spiky and I have talked on stream a lot about the dream of somebody making a game that's just endgame MMO content that has none of the bullshit. No vegetables, there's no questing, there's no XP, there's no leveling up. You know, maybe you unlock abilities in between boss fights or something, but you never grind. Because they're like, the weird thing about MMOs is that sort of content is like, so it's a different game from everything else in the game. And it's like the only genre of game out there where you're expected to play 3 or 4 different mini games to unlock, you know, the game itself. I feel like I'm probably correct in just skipping the quest text. This place doesn't seem like it's taking itself terribly seriously.
Hello.
Follow Anya to the storehouse. Okay. It was because I was pressing F that it wasn't working. Right. Having an FPS where you have to play through the campaign before starting multiplayer, only the campaign is 500 hours. Guild Wars 2 did a lot of things right. I still agree pretty fundamentally with the manifesto that they published during development. They basically published this thing that said MMOs are bad. Like, they're fundamentally broken as a genre, and here's like 50 things that are wrong with them and how we're going to try to fix them. Some of their solutions work better than others.
See you.
There's an MMO that's only being played by MMO fans. It's a bad sign. That's an interesting point. Yeah, that seems to be the case, Brem. Yeah, I wonder if they'd be interested
Do you
in...
wanna play?
Do they still make money from this game? Obviously the servers are still live. If they ever made a TERA 2, if that would be the right opportunity to just drop all of the other crap that comes along with an MMO. I think there's a big demand for challenging cooperative PvE content, right? This game doesn't have a global cooldown, right? So there's kind of a opportunity cost issue. Since I have so many skills that have such a mild cooldown. Final reprisal. Release energy from your staff to damage enemies within 5 meters. Okay. That's cool. Lead on you out of the storehouse. Can do. Oh, they make PUBG? Thanks. This game looks a lot better than PUBG, though. Do they just, like, publish PUBG? Now, why does it tell me spacebar to Metamorphic Blast? I don't have spacebar mapped to Metamorphic Blast. It should be jump. Is there some kind of mechanic that I'm missing that causes that to happen? How do ability chains work? Maybe that answers my question about opportunity cost. You're incentivized to use abilities. So is that similar to every other MMO's, like, chain commands, or is it a special system? Final Fantasy, for example, like, you use one ability and it highlights the second ability in the rotation that you're supposed to use. Game suggesting what to do next. So will it do that extra damage if I do it immediately after a single attack? Like if I do shoot 1, 2, will that always be good? You can change what skill change into what. That's cool. Oh yeah, the damage delt's pretty different when you land a skill chain, huh? Neat. That's cool. I like that. Change if you press the spacebar or hotkey in time. Oh, so it is based on the pop-up? It won't just chain if I just start casting abilities? Cool.
Is this worth my time?
I like the health orbs, Diablo 3 style. faster to use the skills manually than pressing spacebar. Okay. Defeat the Argon Predator. Whoa! I feel like they should have opened with this. This is actually kind of neat. Shows off the combat pretty succinctly. Whoa. Presumably that means I'm about to get targeted, or I am targeted. I like the boss health bar too, that's cool. Like the multiple colors of the health bar, very Kingdom Hearts. Fortunately, Metamorphic Blast is short range, so I can't really justify using it right now. On the X9 is telling me how many bars they have left, basically. See the difference if you just press 2. Yeah. Oh, is this like an asylum demon you're supposed to lose fight? That's cool. Can you actually win? I saw that there was a health bar on the spike. I wasn't able to attack it.
Hold, beast! This one doesn't have the sight.
Oh no, good boy was down. You can one-shot it at 65. Hey, what's up?
What brings you here? You're on business.
Okay. So, I don't think I actually have any new skills, right? Because it would highlight them here if I did. Speed boost. Plant gatherings. New armor. Character sheet's looking pretty good. Oh, did I change my gear coming out of that? Rude. Oh, no, right, because I just equipped new robes. My bad. Does this game have a transmog system? Hey, Eamon, what's up?
What is it, kid?
Let me find the lost children for you. Have to farm some boars. Live to win till you die. Now, if ever there's been a candidate for a no crust action MMO, I feel like this is it. Combat system is really nice.
Hey, where is everybody?
How can I help?
Y'all are saying not too many people play this game for the lore quest text.
Is someone there?
Let's go get them. Okay. We're still technically in the tutorial right now, I assume. Jesus. If you have no crest, how do you get people to pay to skip the crest? I know, right? I can still envision a different progression system, sort of like how some dungeon masters, when you're playing D&D, don't actually track experience points. They just level you up when you finish an adventure. Like, you could do something similar where instead of having levels, you unlock abilities after completing content. And the next content is centered around learning to use those abilities in concert with other players. feel like this game's already doing a lot of things just because WoW does it that way. Like, having you pay money to unlock skills is interesting. Like, I think, what was the logic for paying money for skills? Like, I want to say it was they didn't want you to just get the skills immediately when you leveled up because that's intimidating, but if you have to go and interact with the screen, you have to read the text as you buy it. Did they get rid of that? Oh, was it just a money sink? Was that the main purpose? Find Radiance. Heal thyself. Okay, and it automatically updated my left click. Game does have like a dance, right? His head looks like a Nintendog. Specifically. Follow Anya, okay. I thought they eventually made it so that it was like trivial.
Where is everybody?
Defeat the suffering and Argon infected bears. So Argon is this universe's unobtainium. Got you, Mr. Bear. You are dead zone now. So I've been trying to avoid damage by fighting at range. Like, is it better to just take the damage because I'm gonna get a little health bubble that pops out when they die so I can use my melee chain attacks? I guess they don't always drop health bubbles either. I do have a healing ability. Oh, that has a nice short cooldown. Suffering Bear. You level up pretty quick in this game, too. Oh, I've already killed all my Suffering Bears, my bad. Guess I'll finish these guys off real fast. Alright, so if I'm holding down click, I can't pivot what skill I'm using. It looks like. Careful. The combat system is very, very cool. Go to where Anya is waiting. That's up this way. What's up?
Need help?
It's another doggo. Tanking? How does tanking work? Presumably it's still an aggro system.
Hey, where is everybody?
That's something that bummed me out about Guild Wars 2. Like, their manifesto said that the Trinity is a problem, and I don't think the problem was with the Trinity, to be honest. The problem was with the gameplay loops that the Trinity sort of forced on players. Like the Final Fantasy XI phenomenon of standing around in town shouting to join a party and not being able to find one because your class wasn't in demand.
Snack first.
Some games are getting better at resolving that. I think having like dungeon finders helps a lot. Enemy has a total aggro of 100. Okay. Hi, Ben. How are you? Anya's nowhere to be found. What? Yes, I love you too, Ben.
Victory for Valkion.
Very furry. Oh man.
What can I tell you?
Dope. Skills. Denobia's Vortex unleashes a whirlwind up to 18 meters, dealing damage to all enemies in its path. Okay. Oh, that's cool. It's a long cooldown. Gotcha. And then I got a bunch of new gear. So use the first expedition, robe the first expedition, choose staff of the first expedition. Okay, nice. Read Amon's note. Can do.
Victory for Valkion.
He's got a voice line even on his letter. A group before the highest aggro should be the tank having 30 out of 100, or the other 70 is split between 3 people, so you have to constantly work to hold aggro. I like that. Yeah, aggro in like Final Fantasy XIV is kind of dumb. It's like you establish aggro immediately, and then you never have to worry about it again.
Watch over you. What can I tell you?
Alright, off we go. Charge attacks. How do they work? That was pretty cool. Temple Courtyard. Okay. Oh, that's cool. I missed the answer earlier. I asked, and I think I wasn't paying attention to chat. Does this game have unavoidable damage? Or can you mostly move out of the way of abilities and attacks? I feel like it'd be hard to balance if you can avoid most damage. Sixgun, you were saying that Destiny kind of has what I was talking about earlier. No bullshit. Destiny has more in common with Diablo than it does with a traditional MMO, though, right?
One for all. Victory for Valkion.
I wonder if that's the problem, is if you make something like Destiny, everyone's like, oh, well, that's not an MMO, that's Diablo, right? Oops. 2 rings. Neat. Enter the Temple of the Tree. Can do. Destiny isn't 0 BS, but you unlock abilities as you complete story missions. It's cool. Instead of tying it to level or experience points. There's a comical number of enemies here. Is it because this is a shared instance? And there might be other people playing the tutorial and there needed to be enough for everyone to fight? I'm guessing this game, since it was developed coterminously with Guild Wars 2, it doesn't have Guild Wars 2's genius idea of, like, if you're not in a party, 2 players can still contribute to each other. I don't know if it does, like, mob claiming or something similar. I think the most important idea in the ArenaNet manifesto for Guild Wars 2 is that every MMO before that game, you were almost never happy to see another player, unless if they were already in your party. You were just like wandering the game world and you saw another player when you were crafting or gathering or hunting a boss or fighting mobs. It was bad news. What? Look for depth. Okay. Be level 40 to max level in this game. 2 mobs and AoEing them down. Defeat the Argon occupiers. Like, all of them? You're kidding, right? Oh, no. They mean 3. I can't see anything through all of them, but 3 should be enough to kind of see. Oh no, Ash. Yeah, that was the experience in Final Fantasy XI. It was pretty cancerous. I can't believe I'm almost level 10 in the tutorial, and it only goes up to 50? Or what's max level now? Final Fantasy XI was all about, you would camp a boss that only spawned after hundreds of linked enemies in the area had been killed, and there were always bots at all of them because all of these bosses dropped gear that you could trade on the market board that was like best in slot mandatory for most classes. So you'd go there and you'd farm these mobs for like 2 hours, then a bot would just auto-claim the boss and you couldn't fight it or get any loot from it. 75? That's not too bad. Actually, the Eureka thing in Final Fantasy XIV is a pretty close approximation of what 11 used to be like. Thanks. Help is on the way. Fiery escape. Okay, so that's my C button. Oh no, that's a different escape ability. That's cool. Focus heal. 2 targeted group members within 19 meters. Skill button once and move over to lock on targets, then press the skill button again to heal all targets. The lock on persists after it's activated once. That's pretty cool. I've got 2 evades now. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Rare spawn bosses like that, but a hard limit on the number of people who can experience your game in a finite time frame. Exactly. It's such an interesting design decision to make. Especially since, like, the boss isn't guaranteed to drop the thing, right? Yeah. If you want a boss to be difficult, it should be instance. Otherwise, if you want it to be farmable, everyone gets a reward for contributing. Lots of MMO mechanics are degenerate pretty easily. I mean, that's the joke with WoW, right? Where healing just degenerates to a spreadsheet, and you click on the bars that are too low. I think they've made it more complicated since then, but people used to have add-ons that would convert healing to just a screen of bars, and you would just click on the low ones. So, like, if an area boss, like, I don't know, Odin in Final Fantasy XIV, is trivial to defeat if you have a certain number of people there, just kind of face-rolling it, then really what the encounter is, it's not really a fight. It's just, did enough people show up that for all of them to face-roll they'll win, yes or no? They may as well just have, like, a thing that announces... Defeat the Argon Sentinel. Okay. Killbot was 100% automated almost. Maybe Odin's a bad example, but there are world bosses like that. Like, as long as enough people show up to beat it, you're gonna win. You might need 1 or 2 healers paying attention and rezzing people, but other than that, it's just gonna happen. Moving debuffs in WoW used to be automated? How so? Oh, because there was scripting. Gotcha. Oh, sure. Because you could whisper to cast. Hello, spooky Argon Wraith. How's your day? It actually travels pretty far. I like the knockback. Too far away, I guess. have to be careful with spamming abilities. I can't pop my dodge in time. I wonder if, do most abilities root you briefly while you're pressing them? It's only for a split second. I wonder if that's the way they get the netcode to work, is that rooting. Like, it might be too much if you could move freely while using abilities.
Victory for Valkion.
Yeah, and animation lock. So I wonder if the animation lock is this game's equivalent of the GCD. It's still a very short GCD as a result, but... I see the GCD as being mostly like a way to get around a technical limitation of MMOs, more so than a, you know, overt decision to make a turn-based game where the turn is extremely short. Yeah, I like that too, Ash. Hey, this guy again. Round 2. I'm gonna find a way to get MP back. I guess I have some potions. I see them now. Oh, the random tips popping on my screen. Clear the screen of the UI for better screenshots. Ouch. Up to something, huh? Alright, remember your spike from last time. Get out the way! I thought I was able to kill the spike in time. Oh, it's Anya. Save my friend. Thanks, Sorrow Tree. Good looking out. I need to kill the nail, basically. I don't think it spawns in time, or I'm not able to target it in time. It might have been scripted. It's hard to tell. Hey, first try. Cool. Locked fashion strongbox. Oh, our fashion gear independent from other gear. That's cool. Yeah, it looked pretty scripted, I agree. Level 9 or above. It's identical to my existing signet ring. Lucky Clover, Gilded Wooden Carving. It's the same item. Requires a strongbox key, which presumably you pay for with real money. Can I just attack it? Oh, I see. I think he said if I beat him in the first round when he was unbeatable. Yeah, I can see a lot of potential in this game. I see, Kami, why you wanted to share it for an hour. It's enough for me to kind of get it mechanically. If you're saying this game's not worth playing to the end game, it seems a little bit better balanced in the early game than the Old Republic. The Old Republic was bumming me out because, like, it was so easy.
What can I tell you?
So trivial. It's too bad. Have they kept the later game balanced at all?
Something I can help with.
Thank you, good boy. Man, they really like to give me new gear in this. No kidding. Staff of Hope. Why do I always have the little Four-leaf clover. Yeah, I can see that with the animation lock. Kind of reminds me of Dark Souls. Still want someone to make a Dark Souls combat MMO. Lucky boy.
Victory for Valkion.
Oh, am I officially out of the tutorial now that I have multiple quests?
Unable to harness the tree's power, the Argons left, content with stopping the divine sight. Without the Seer's warnings, the Argon assault began in earnest. The Valkion Federation rallied the races together to defend against the Argons. But now, more than ever, they need strong defenders, like you.
Need everyone to get good instead of just you. Great.
What can I tell you?
I think if anyone were ever to make... Oh, hey, it's, Matarasu. There's a mount in Final Fantasy XIV that looks almost identical to that. It's funny. I think if you were to do a Dark Souls combat style MMO, you'd probably have to borrow that Guild Wars 2 idea of, like, every person's for themselves and is responsible for taking care of themselves, which is kind of how the co-op combat already works in Dark Souls.
Fortune smiles on us.
Like, the host is responsible for staying alive, and everyone's responsible for taking care of their own shit, and if you die, you die. Like, someone can still win on their own. Okay.
May memory endure.
Sure. There's a Dodge Charger mount? So they really don't give a shit about the lore, do they? Oh my god. Jeez. Given how much of this is different, I'm surprised how many things in this game feel like it's looking like WoW on purpose. I guess this is different. It's kind of cool. Basically a pretty loading screen. Whoa. That's pretty cool. This game is very pretty. EVE Online copycat. Can you go to all these places that you can see, or is some of this background art bullshit? I see why they put this mount travel sequence here to show off this part of the game world. Yeah, and the frame rate's crazy. Like, I have a brand new gaming computer that's not running anything else on it right now. Like, it runs everything on Ultra, and it's kind of pooping itself a little bit right now. Yeah, FF14 has a lot of background art bullshit you can't really go to. Very pretty, though. It's cool. Alright. You can go there, but there's nothing there but empty space. Huh.
You need my help?
Summon Bay Gelding. Oh, that's kind of neat. Are instantly mounted. Well, the movement speed doesn't seem terribly different. God, the fucking animation of the dog, the good boy on the horse. It's funny. Yeah, the frame rate is super janky. Does anyone have a machine that runs this game really, really well? Or is it just poorly optimized in general? Freedom Plaza. What's this? When they add mounts to GW2, I quit before the first expansion. Living Stories Season 2. I had 100% of the game up to that point, and burned out pretty hard. Today's expansion.
Don't push yourself so hard. You look troubled.
Reputation
But
credits.
we'll win.
Is there rep grinding in this game? Okay, awesome. Oh boy. Is there still rep grinding in WoW, or have they gotten rid of it?
Played a trick on you.
Oh, the mount is just instant. Having a cast bar for mounting is annoying.
For you.
Oh, this game has jiggle physics. Great. It's necessary. Excuse me. There's still rep grinds in WoW. Excuse me.
What shall we speak of?
The UI
City of Wheel.
slows the game down? That's
Capital
crazy.
of the Valkian Federation and bastion of
UI
civilization
is its
on
own
the
instance of
continent
Unreal
our
Engine?
own.
Wow.
We've gathered here, human.
Oh, look at the
Aman, Baraka, Kastanik, Popori, and Ellen.
cutscene
to withstand
artifacting. I don't know if you guys
we
can
could
tell
not
since
face
there's already
alone.
some artifacting from me streaming it, but this
The
cutscene was like
Archons.
filmed in Engine. It's a video file, it's not being rendered.
Across the sea on the continent of Shara, our armies are fighting the Argon threat to a standstill. For
Is the
now.
Ellen the weird lolly race?
But the Argons aren't the only danger. Not by a long shot. With our army on the Argon front, monsters on our frontiers have become bold.
I know, right? This name?
They've plundered entire towns, and we can't let the home front collapse. We hope that the fighting spirit of our youth can make up for the numbers we lack. Who knows? Maybe you're the next alien. Valek knows we could use one.
Oh, they just appear, there was no intro.
Without our youth, the Federation...
They
is
add
not-
them to the tutorial then, too?
Everyone is asking me about what you did on the island of Dawn.
This voice
Don't
actor
get cocky.
doesn't sound...
Impressive to them, but it takes more than that to impress me.
Wait, I know that
And
actor.
I
Who
have
is that?
little tolerance for glory hounds like you.
Oh, what is he in? Is that Arlie Ermy?
These days, no sense of proportion. Now get out of here. Our headquarters will start to smell like pigling.
The audio's not going bananas, but it's definitely out of sync with his voice, with his lip flaps. Oh, he's the guy from BSG. Oh, right. It's, right, he's also in Mass Effect. He's Saul Ty, right? In Battlestar Galactica. And he's Bailey in Mass Effect. Alright, that's time for this game. Thank you for sharing. How do I close out of the game? Oh, yeah. We're gonna take a short break so I can get the FrameMeister set up for the PS2 so we can play some Ratchet and Clank. I'll be back soon.